What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I hope you guys enjoyed that last video with Billy Carson and myself. You know, it's just a lot of crazy things when you link the ancient civilizations to what we're seeing here on the moon and on Mars and many other planets. There's a connection there, guys. I mean, you know, I know a lot of people don't believe that, and there's a lot of mainstream that don't, but there's a lot of connections. Speaking of the moon, we're going to go back to the moon. There's some rather interesting anomalies on the moon. Now, I've done something very similar to this in the past, and I'm going to show you that right now. And also, Taft Baker, or Derek Baker, had done an enhancement of this particular area. So I figured I'd cover it again, because I know a lot of you guys want to, you know, really see what's on the moon. So you're going to want to use your eyepieces on this, your magnifiers or your eyepieces. Let's get started. I want to show you that because this is pretty interesting. All right, what we're looking at right here, as you can see right here, Sea of Serenity is here. And you Sea of Tranquility, which there was actually a couple of Apollo missions done right here. They're right here between, almost right there, this point or this point here, that they've done in between these seas, meaning the Sea of Serenity and Tranquility. And just right here, now it's not the best photo, because we're zooming in, but right there is the Posidonius crater. All of this area back here, and I've done this whole area before in this other video I'm going to show you. There was a huge structure right here, and all these other little structures. Now, some people are going to question. They're going to be like, well, how come I can see these pristine 4K photos, and I don't see anything like this on these photos? Well, first of all, are the people that are showing these, are they up close? When you say 4K, are they up close to this actual surface of the moon? Second thing is, some people say, well, I've seen actual photos from even NASA, and they don't show these. Well, are we sure we're actually seeing the actual footage of it, meaning a photo or something like that? Or is it something that they generated? Well, here's the weird thing. This is coming, the photo I'm going to show you is coming from two sources, because one is from this area here. Now, I've done this in this video I'm going to show you, that the Chameleon and Njala observatories, there's one here and one on the right, and they've taken some phenomenal photos of the moon, and this is what this particular video was about. Now, what's funny about it, now again, here we go. I'm just going to show you this real quick. This is pretty interesting. You've got the Posidonius crater right here, and just south of this, or down below this crater, is Sea of Serenity. Over here in the upper left, you can see what looks like this weird disk or something in the middle of this disk, and you've got these two little white objects. Guys, look at this closely, man. It looks like right here. Look at this. The way this goes like this. It looks like it's an opening going into the lunar surface. You see that? I don't know if you guys can see that right there. And you've got these two little objects, and you've got this here. Now, I want you to remember this angle you're seeing. There's a reason for it. Let me show you this. This was Taft Baker's right here. And you can see he's done the filtering and stuff like that. And it's pretty interesting. Here you go. Here's Sea of Serenity. Sea of Tranquility. And like I said, NASA's been here and here. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give you the link like I said. And you guys can eyeball this thing with your jeweler. The eyepieces you got like these. Or your magnifiers. Crazy stuff. All right. Again, Posidonius crater right here. And guess what? Look at this object right here. Now, let me get into that closer so you guys can see this. Now, if you look at the angle, look at the angle on this photo. It's different from the other one. And the reason why I bring that up is because some people say to me, hey, Chris, you know, if you see a particular anomaly, can you see it from a different angle in a different photo? And would that anomaly still be there? Well, here's your answer. Look at the difference in the angle right here. Well, much further over here when the other photo is being taken from the lower left pointing this direction. Let me show you. See the angle to this here? We're now looking at the Posidonius crater, and down below this, again, is Sea of Serenity. This is up in the upper left. Look at the anomalies. 1, 2 in the upper left, and then you get this weird disk and something in the center of it. And you've got these photos here. See the difference? You can see this, what looks like this tower right here. Right there in this other little tiny crater that's off the side, off the edge of Posidonius crater. Okay? These over here, these bright spots, two things come to my mind. One, these are actual lights. Maybe, you know, so people can actually track and come into this area, fly into it or whatever. But these are lights or extremely reflective surfaces, right? Because why doesn't the whole surface light up like this? You don't see that. Just certain spots. Now, see the angle of that. It's much lower and over to the left of, and just below Posidonius crater, right? And then look at this one here. This direction. Now, you might say, well, all you got to do is rotate the picture. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's get it just like it is in the other one. It'd have to be like this. You can't do it. Look at it. It's just way different angle. You just can't do it that way. See that? it doesn't look right, and you can see the angle where we're looking more at the top as the other one was more on the side. So that's what makes all the difference. You can see the angle. See it? Right there. So again, we've got one photo here from the Chameleon Observatory and the Anjala. This is their view of the actual area. And then we get the LROC, which is this photo here, okay, which is the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. Two different people taking two different videos, or photos rather, and yet, look, here we go, okay? So let's zoom in because I want to show you this. This is pretty cool. Right off the bat, I believe, and I've said this before, that these are platforms, these are structures. In fact, I've just seen this. Look at this. Looks like this big archway. See that? Right there. It does like 1, 2, 3, almost looks like ball type things hooked together. And you can see a shadow just barely under that. You guys see that? Right there. Going over to here. But it looks like there's a shadow just under that. See that? That's pretty crazy. And look at this. Now that we zoomed in much more. Oh, yeah. It almost looks like, again, one of these platforms that are highly reflective, or it's some kind of weird dome. You see that? Crazy stuff here, guys. Look at this. Looks like some kind of octagon-shaped platform. And speaking of, I call them stop sign anomalies or craters. Look at this. Speaking of which, check this one out. Look at the size of whatever the hell this thing is. You can see that right there. Now, again, this is Posidonius crater. What is the size of this thing? It looks like something large and gray is coming out of there. And it looks like it has a hole in it. Almost like they can fly into this thing and go down. Again, how big is this? You know, a lot of people say, man, I'd love to know the scale. You and me both, man. You and me both. I mean, you could look at maybe look up the size of the crater and then get an idea, because you could probably get X amount of these all inside this crater. But nonetheless, this thing is still pretty darn large. Check this thing out. You can see it's got a base to it, comes up, kind of curves over, has this, looks like a hole and goes back down. Check that out. And in addition to that, you got this one line, looks like another line, another one, and one right behind it. See that? Try to clear it up for you guys. I'm going to back out a little bit at a time so you guys can actually take your magnifying tools and check that out. What do you think of that? Again, this tower's in a different spot. You've got objects that look like this here. It looks like it has an opening right here. Almost looks like it has this arch with an opening and whatever this is here. I've always wondered, you know, how does the impact crater just be barely bigger than the actual rock that hits the moon? Doesn't make any sense, does it? And again, we've got this bright area right here. See this? Just like in this photo right here. You can see it right there. So, yeah, I mean, these objects are in the photos from two different cameras. One, again, from the Anjala Observatory, and you've got one from the LRO. Check that out. It's pretty wild, right? Now, let's go look around a little bit more here, guys, because I'm going to tell you what, there's crazy things in here. Look at this. Again, I believe these are highly reflective, but I believe a lot of these give off their own lights. Check this out. You can see these just right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All these little spots. Why is it completely dark in some spaces? In other spots, you know, you can see these lights. Look at it. One here, one here. They're everywhere. See this? Objects are everywhere. In fact, when you look at over here, you got 1, 2, 3. It looks like they kind of like spiral off on this thing. Now, again, people have said to me, hey, Chris, you know, I don't get it. I can see crystal clear photos that look 4K, absolutely pristine. I don't see any of this. And you know what? I agree with you. It's a huge discrepancy. Why is it that we can see 4K supposedly, and yet we don't see any of this? And yet we've got two different photos. One from the LRO, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, and we got it from the Anjala, these amateur astronomers. And I believe it's based out of Africa, if I'm not mistaken. And how is this possible? How are we seeing these things here? It makes no sense. Let's go up over here. Again, here's that other object. This crater with these objects in it. See that? There's something in there. And there's those two white things. Two white anomalies. And again, it looks like there's a kind of opening in the ground. We back out. It looks like it actually goes into or under the lunar surface. Look at this right here. Check this out. How crazy is that? right there. Okay. It looks like it has feet. One. I'll do it this way. It'll be easier because it's better non-color at the moment. Right here. 1, 2, 3. And it looks like it kind of goes down into it. But what the hell is on top of that? See that? You can look really carefully. You can see something that's white right there. It kind of does this. This whole area right here, I'm just going to scribble it out right there. Whatever that is, there's something on this particular platform. I call it a platform. In no way is that a crater. It's actually above the ground. You can see the way it's designed. Again, you get these extremely reflective parts right here. And just so you guys know, you can download the link to this, but get ready for this. Again, he's got this. This is a TIFF. If you were to get the original one, I believe it's the 4th one from the bottom right here, it's 84 megs. It's a good size photo, and good luck with that, because even with my high speed, it still took me about 30 to 40 minutes to download it. So yeah, you know, it's going to take quite a bit. If you don't mind, and here's the thing, it's an actual image you have to put on a disk. It's not something you can view in Photoshop. It won't allow you to do that, and I don't believe the Microsoft or Windows viewer will let you see it either. So good luck with that. The only way to do it is just to burn it to a DVD or a CD. Other than that, you're not going to view it. But they are here. Every one of these, they will put on there. Okay? But, so you're better off to get the TIFF, and you can download it over here on Flickr page, over here on the right-hand side with the arrow right there. And, of course, you want the full size, the original. And you can see it's bigger than any size there. You want all of those. And check it out. And, of course, you guys will get the link, as usual. So, guys, when we look at this, this is what we're seeing. Again, this is from, you know, amateur astronomers in Africa viewing these things, and then of course I enhance this to bring it out, and then we've got one from the LRO. So I mean, you guys tell me, what's up with that? Different angle, there it is. The objects are still in the photo. Now, if they were totally missing, I'd go, well, you know, maybe I'd have to question that myself, but they're not. They're still in there. And check this out. Also, I'm going to pause this right here. Go ahead and look at it with your magnifiers. Just look at the bottom right here. Just in this area right here. It's crazy. Just the things that they look connected. They look like a city on the actual surface. Look at this object right here. It looks like it's going just like this. Looks like it's literally connecting from this in this crater to outside this. Guys, I don't know if you guys can see that. But check it out. There's so many things in here. Right here. These are platforms, and not to mention, look at all the stuff in between all the dock areas, and look at some of the things in there. They look like, the stuff actually looks like a city. What is it? Why do we have a discrepancy between what they call a 4K? Now, some people have 4K resolution on YouTube. Problem is they're not super zoomed in. When you zoom in, that's when everything breaks apart. You know, and of course we have to deal with our atmosphere here on Earth. You have to get through that. That's why you get a lot of this waviness when you see people filming the moon. It's our atmosphere. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and show you the enhanced part of it right here. And I try to go around this thing to try to, this is why you get this weird yellowish, you know, I'm trying to bring it out, use the burn tool to try to bring out any more details. And you can see that, okay? Guys, give me your take on this. What do you think is going on here? Again, I'm going to go like this. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to pause it right here. Oh, check this one out. I didn't even notice this right here. Why you guys got your eyepiece out? What is that right there? See that? What is that? I want to zoom in right now. And I just noticed this just now. Check that out. Look at the shape of this thing. Appears to be doing this. As with this white thing on one side, one on the other. What is that, guys? Look at this. Yeah, there's far too many things in these craters to be, you know, just natural. Look at this. Whatever that is, looks like it's sticking straight up out of there. Now, that could very well be something or an impact. Like I said, you guys will have the, you know, like I said, you'll be able to check out the other photo that Derek Baker put up. Check this out. He was actually showing this as well. Now, take a magnifier to this, guys. This area right here. Look at this. Check this one out. Almost looks like a pyramidal shape. right there, almost smack dab in the middle of this one. See it? What are we looking at? You know, these are craters right here. This is a crater. This one's somewhat a crater, I guess. This, again, looks like another octagon-shaped piece right there. See that? This one's sticking up right here. You can see something coming right out of the center of it. It looks like it's standing up. You get this item right here. Again, almost mimics the other one right there. It looks like this weird, like, end piece sticking out. And then you've got this other object right here. Is that like just a way to get into this thing? Again, let's go back to the other one. It looks very similar right here, where it looks like it's open. There's an opening right there. It looks like a shorter tube type thing, but what is that? You guys be the judge, man. You know, when you see things like this, is that natural? I don't believe that they are. And I believe that these beings, and I include us too, I believe we've been on the moon, and we still are. Who knows? Maybe we get this understanding where we can all just kind of, you know, coexist on the moon. Whatever that is, that's definitely not natural. Again, with a tower. So, you guys tell me what you think, man. This is just crazy. There's no way that this stuff is kind of natural when you get something like that standing right there on top of this crater. That's why I believe most of these, if not all, are platforms. And this is the reason why they're so bright, right? They're just boom. Again, I believe these are either extremely highly reflective areas or they're lights. Might be just a way like beacons. People know how, you know, they can just get right into it. Look at, I mean, here you go. You got this darkened area, and yet these things are just kind of blazing out of the darkness. Again here. See that? Complete darkness, but yet these things are kind of shining through. Now, I get if the sunlight's shining on them. You know what I mean? Again, if it's a shiny part of the surface, makes absolute sense. This is not the case. And again, neither is this because, again, here's that light. Although we're looking at it from this direction, from the right, looking at it to the left, and you can see that those weird objects, they have lights on them. So these things are there. Two different sources, yet we have the same anomalies. All right, guys, let me jump out of this. Check that out, man. I'm going to give you guys the link. Check it out. It's always in my pinned comment in the comment section. Some of you guys have said, hey, man, I'm not seeing the actual links. I always leave it in. It'll be right at the top of the comment section. I'll have my description of the video. And just right inside that, there's usually link or links, whatever I might have used in the video. So check that out. Anyway, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. What are you seeing here? Are you seeing something different than I am or something in addition to what I'm seeing? Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like and always share the video, guys. People need to see this because this is stuff a lot of people don't get to see. And they always see what NASA puts out or what they want you to see as opposed to what's really on the lunar surface, right? So anyway, like I said, share the video. Always appreciate it. You guys know that. Got some more cool stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you in the next one.